Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 21 on the GBYWN Australia podcast. I am your host, Aston Crude, joined here by my good friends, the Suburban Nightmare, Dark Ice.
How you doing?
And Big Red Ryan Tate.
Hello.
Obviously not in character, because if this was in character, Ryan would have been knocked out by now after what he did yesterday. A bastardly attack on his former best friend Blade Shaw, but we'll get to that. We're going to be doing a review here today of Frostbite 2015 this past Saturday on the 4th of July. So, guys, great show.
Yeah, definitely a great show. Everyone did well. They really stepped up their game, I think, in my opinion.
Several stories have been,
Mapped
progressed.
out.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I thought overall, in the last 2 years, I think one of the best vibes around all the boys in between matches and during matches.
Yeah.
I thought, it was just one of the better days out of the year so far.
Especially the fact that we actually ended the show on time for once.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rare. I think maybe it had something to do with having only 7 matches.
Yeah.
Which is a nice change to not really have to be freaking out about running out of time. But I guess we'll let's just get on with the show. We opened up the show. Stacey makes her first appearance in backyard wrestling in nearly 5 years, joining the Heartbreakers in our reunion tag team match against the Mexicraps of Emilio and Colin. I'm not going to say anything. I want to know your guys' thoughts on everything that went down in that match.
Entertaining as fuck. Always good time when John is in the ring, just entertaining as well. Good to see the little comedic, more less serious side of Aston Crude. Like obviously Mexicraps did their part. Just get the living shit beat out of them. Colin got a few pops, so
Yeah.
Emilio sucks though.
Well.
And it was awesome to see Stacey, like 5 years. And just you got getting her to actually show up and be a part of that was just something special.
Yeah.
It was cool to see.
Yeah, I thought the same, I see her walk into the arena, and to be honest, I didn't know who she was, didn't recognise her at the time, but then finally got introduced. I was like, holy shit, I saw you hit Diffuser with that Rana 5 years ago, wow, you're back, that's sick.
Great Rana.
But following XCW, I knew about her, knew about the Heartbreakers, and was really keen to see the match, and I wasn't disappointed. I got every level of entertainment that I was expecting. Got the pops you guys wanted, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And just all out, just one of the better fun style matches of WZWA's time, I think.
Yeah, I had a good time. Just a bit of a real spin to have, Stacey out there with me and John, even though she didn't get really physically involved, but that wasn't what it was all about. It was all about just reuniting getting the band back together.
Yep.
I don't know if John and I will be having any tag matches again anytime soon, so that was just, I guess, a once-off just for a bit of a trip down memory lane, but in a bit of more of a present setting, to do it in the ring, to have Stacey there. And Emilio and Colin did a great job making us look great. Watching the recap, wasn't happy with some things. My powerbomb was left out, and I would have liked to have seen the bit where Emilio hit on Stacey and
Mamacita.
Mamacita. I thought that was a prominent part of the match, but a lot of the stuff was cut out of our match in the recap. So hopefully the full match will be up and everyone can see the hilarity ensue with the Heartbreakers reunion.
Hands off, boys. She's married.
Oh man, so good. So okay, moving forward, we go into another tag team match. I think this is the first time we've had 2 tag team matches in a row.
Yeah.
Aside from Clash of the Triads, which we won't count, but we can move on now to Big Red Ryan Tate and Blade Shaw, in which will probably be the last time they ever team together, the former tag team champions.
It's kind of relieving but sad at the same time. So I've always liked working with Blade as a tag team, but the whole story had to be implemented. So
it's time to stop being a team, start fighting one another.
Yes,
So
yeah.
you took on 1990 Awesome. I'm going to get Ice's thoughts first on the match and the segment afterward.
Well, the match was just... It dragged on a little bit too long for my liking. But, you know, all in all, the story was told exactly how it was supposed to. 1990 Awesome, again, got themselves over with the crowd and in the match itself, which was cool. Loving the evolution of 1990 Awesome. It's fun when they come out. It's like the Heartbreakers, but, you know, every time Daniel Johnston comes out, you know you're going to have a fat time. So
Exactly.
And, you know, talking to Jack Wallace, he's loving his gimmick. He's loving the matches now. Match itself, hard hitting, some great moves executed, and I can't emphasize enough how frustrating Ryan's character is at the moment.
Just delusional.
You know, like, it's character, but you just, like, you get frustrated anyway, because it's like, nah, man, like, you're wrong, dude, like, fucking shut up.
You know, 5 minutes earlier, having a friendly chat with him, as soon as he's in character, it's a different guy.
Yeah, and it's just like, you want to fucking punch him in the head because of how ridiculous it is, but, you know, you can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, the segment afterwards was, it was beautifully executed, you know. Ryan snapped, finally, you could say.
Yeah.
Laid the chair shots in, brutal chair shots to poor Blade.
Yeah.
And the way he forced Lila to hit the lariats, otherwise she'd be next, you know.
He's disgusting. He's become disgusting.
Yeah, he's really fucked. But, you know, if that was me in Lila's boots, straight away, if my man threatened me, I'd say, fuck this shit. I would have hit a light lariat on Ryan.
She must be on some sort of spell of their relationship where she can't, you know, stand up for herself just yet. But we'll see what happens come the following show, which will be Hardcore Hell, last man standing match. It's been announced, Blade Shaw, Ryan Tate, but we'll talk about that a little bit later.
I like that what you just said, where she stands, and it's a last man standing match. So I suppose we'll find out where everyone stands or doesn't stand.
And the last man standing will get the woman.
Yeah.
And so obviously a very story-driven match, Ryan.
Yes.
You know, you did your bit with 1990 Awesome, but then they had to take a little bit of a back seat. You know, we had the Big Ace interference to continue that little story.
Trying to implement all the stories at once. I think the match. I would agree with Ice. The match did drag on a bit. I don't know what really happened with that. We were just trying to implement all the stories.
I'm under the impression it was because DJ had not had the chance to do some spots with Blade, that, you know, the sumo spot and Blade hitting the
like the match was mainly I think improvisation. There's a couple of things that we did plan, but yeah, trying to get everyone to get their shit in. And, yeah.
And I'm watching you and Jack wrestle. I'm thinking these guys must be sick of wrestling each other by now. Surely, I mean, Christ Almighty. I mean,
there's only so much more we can do. We face each other.
So many times you've battled in singles matches, tag team matches. It's you know, it's been relentless over the last year with you two, but you know, once again worked well together. I think Jack is really finding his stride now as a tag team partner of DJ.
Definitely.
I think having DJ there is really you know, motivating Jack to put on better performances and give it his all. Some other feedback I will give is, like, Jack needs to really attack his bumping a bit more. Some of Blade's moves on him looked a bit sloppy because Jack didn't bump them correctly, like taking the Samoan drop and putting his arm behind him to protect himself. It made the move look sloppy. And there was a couple other things here and there. Sidewalk slam that Blade did, it just didn't have the impact it would have if you know, hit back on that mat with a bit more of an attack. And also with DJ, I mean, DJ's obviously, you know, he's at his doing his finest work in 2015, I'd say.
Oh, definitely.
And I just think that maybe he should pop in a few more different moves here and there. We always see the senton, we always see the swinging neck breaker, we always see, you know, the lariats and the club to the back, but I like to see him hit some of his other moves that he used to do, like the skull crushing finale, or the bulldog, some other moves that DJ's known for over the years. So anyway, great match, great story told at the end of it. You happy with it, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. I'm happy with how, especially how the last part, the segment afterwards went because I had been thinking over it like the last couple of days, just like how am I gonna make it seem like very impactful, and just forcing Lily to do that to Blade, and then say like getting in her face, being like, if you know where your loyalty lies, you'll have no problem being the referee for the match. So
Yeah.
it just makes it more intricate. So you have all three elements in the one match: me, Blade, and Lila all together.
Yeah, so it's not just all about
just
you
her
and Blade.
coming
The
in,
story's
managing,
being told
yeah.
of her being pulled one way or the other, you know.
Yeah.
Blade's her friend and he's by her side and he cares for her and stuff, whereas Ryan's all about just himself and she's his property, and it tells a true to life story, you know. Some boyfriends are like that with their
Yeah, some
girlfriends.
of them are really delusional and think their best friend's going after them.
Yeah, and you know, tells a great story, and
When in real life, Blade has been had a girlfriend for the last 5 years, but you know.
yeah. But,
So, where was Esquilito in all this?
Oh, Esquilito's still getting himself all geared up for the date,
Ooh.
which will hopefully be recorded this week. I've got 2 weeks off work, so
I got a couple.
so we can get it all prepared.
All prepared.
If we record it here, we're gonna have to get some nice lighting if we're doing it at night. Or if we do it during the day, we can always change the brightness settings on the camera or the recording and make it look like it's at night.
Just dim it down a bit.
Yeah, just
Video effects work wonders.
yeah, they work wonders. So I don't know, does she work during the week?
She's got 4
every
weeks
day?
off.
Oh really?
Yeah, she's on annual
well,
leave.
Fuck, we'll do it this week.
Hell
We'll
yeah.
do it this week. We'll get it all done. All right. Well, let's move on from there. What was next? We went to
Luke Monet.
Luke Monet's segment. That's right, with JD Flame. He came out, cut a great promo. JD Flame came out, cut a great promo.
Mm.
Now they're telling their story so well. What do you guys think?
You couldn't say it any better than that. They came out, had this really passionate promo, getting each other's faces. Really liked the whole fact that JD Flame won't stoop to Monet's level, won't agree to his terms, because he's the boss, he's the commissioner, he runs the show.
And yeah, I think Justin, just as I said with DJ, is doing his best work since being commissioner of WZWA.
Yeah.
His promos, you know, he's always been quite good on the microphone, but these days he's just so much better than he ever was.
Yeah, because it's a character he knows he can play, and it works in well with his personal life as well, because he is, you know, studying all that shit at the moment, and he's able to use his vocabulary to his advantage, and that's just working wonders on the microphone. And then, you know, he hits the cutter on Monet after. Oh, that was later. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, that was after the
Yeah.
match, yeah.
Sorry,
But
yeah.
still,
But, you know, he's still just crisp at what he's doing, and you know, Monet's improved on the microphone as well, and it's just a segment that just worked. It's just beautiful.
and behind the scenes, the reason why we actually didn't get JD Flame versus Luke Monet was because Justin's having quite a bit of a heavy hand in his story at the moment, and he's coming up with some great ideas, and he felt that this match should be saved for later down the line, because he's only going to have a couple more matches before he hangs up the boots. Pardon me, but so he's really been coming up with some great ideas, and that's why we thought, well, we got this opportunity to bring back Clint Marshall. Zibby had told me that, you know, if it was possible, he would like to come to Frostbite and have a match. So I was like, well, fuck yeah, that fits perfectly with this JD Flame storyline and the match itself. What do you guys think?
Phenomenal match. Like, the only other time these guys had actually locked horns was, I think it was a Hardcore Hell 2013. They came out, like, it was only like a beat down. It was like a couple of minutes of Zibby just beating.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
there was a little feud going on with the Revolutionaries in the franchise. Didn't
Yeah.
really get anywhere because Phaser ended up leaving WCWA. But the final part of it was supposed to be Clint Marshall versus Luke Monet, but it never happened. And then I believe last year it was supposed to happen again. Didn't happen again. So we finally got it, and I think it was a dream match that I've been wanting to see for quite some
Yeah.
time. And they did not disappoint us.
No, they did not. You know, another one of the matches I was always keen for that never happened. And yeah, they went there and they blew everyone's minds. You know, the false finishes, the moves. you know, you couldn't have put it together any better than what they did. And you know, my opinion, match of the day.
Me
was,
too.
Yeah, match of the day.
Incredible, you know. Had me on the edge of my fucking seat.
Not
Boy.
to mention the sexual tension that Zibby brought to the match, where it being shirtless.
Oh, mate,
abs.
first time ever.
Mr. Magic Marshall.
Taking off the singlet. Men's abs is going to love that. So, it was a great match, and I think it's a credit to Clint Marshall. When it's always a big match situation where he knows he's going to come up with the goods, he always does come up with the goods. I mean, it's very rare that Clint Marshall has a bad match. So to have him back in WZWA, even if it's just for a couple matches here and there, it's good for all of us.
Yeah.
So moving forward, after the match we had the thing, you know, with Mykonos, you know, continuing their story. Supernova, then JD Flame tries to help him up, ends up getting a cutter. So Monet, you know,
Can't get his shit together, just getting beaten down.
number one contender for the GBYWN Australian Championship. He will be challenging Mykonos for that title at Hardcore Hell. So that's another big time match, along with the last man standing match. 2 matches now with some great heat behind them. From there, we go on to Big Ace 1-on-1 with Steel Kemsley.
Oh my god.
Now, as you guys may remember,
Jesus
Hard
Christ.
Time 3 last year, they went out there and had basically a dreadful match. My fault. I shouldn't have put 2 rookies in there against each other without getting Chris and DJ or some people in the ring with them to help them come up with a good plan.
Yeah.
I remember that match specifically because I was backstage getting ready or something, and I was hearing the guys as in the crowd have a little bit of a joke, and they were chanting "Match of the Year" during this match. I
Gotcha.
thought, don't do that. That's just not.
It's not kind.
Not kind at all.
And I believe this was what DJ was talking about at the time. He's sick of people giving Steele a hard time. Why don't they help him? Put him with me. So I guess that was kind of like the final straw that broke the camel's back for DJ.
This match really kind of showed that how much evolution,
how
how
much-
much they both have evolved since that match.
How much can change in a year?
That's it.
Yeah.
I just went out there and, you know, everyone knows the capabilities of Ace and the capabilities of Steel, but nobody actually, I personally don't think anyone expected the match we got.
Yeah.
So overall, everybody was just generally excited and keen to see how these boys move on from here, because they've really showed now that they can hang with the likes of others and put on a match that's up there.
Yeah, exactly. And the excitement level was there. Ace has proved, you know, why he deserves to be tag team champion right now.
Yeah.
Can't say too much for his former partner right now, but you know, Ace has carried that team because Aries was never there. Now Ace is, you know,
Slowly becoming another really entertaining big man in backyard wrestling now.
yeah. And I think the sky's the limit for Ace, and definitely still Kemsley. You know, he's maybe we need we will be putting him into quite a great storyline coming up soon.
Oh, yes.
Which will be you know, involving the tag team division. So I'm looking forward to that. So after the match, oh actually no, sorry, I forgot to even mention, Steel did a fucking dive.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Unfortunately, if you watch the recap, Dickhead behind the camera was too overexcited to actually keep the fucking dive in shot. So we don't get to see how great it was, but seeing it live, it was like, I believe Rex Regan said, "Fuck you, Steel, you did it better than I do."
Yeah.
And he did. He really did.
It was really Undertaker-esque.
Yeah, it was like the fact that Steel, like, they were on the outside. Steel slides into the ring. Ace is on the outside. I'm the referee at this point. I'm just thinking, no fucking way. And he runs to the rope, back he comes, and he just flies so gracefully over the ropes.
And you wouldn't have thought
And-
that a guy like him who couldn't even hit a Faymaster properly a year ago, because he's too worried about hurting his bum, is doing a dive over the top. The confidence level of Steel Kemsley is astounding all of us each and every time he goes out there.
Well, I'd be really keen to know from Steel Kemsley where the motivation came to do the dive.
Like, Steel, did someone tell you to do that? Or did you, if you thought of that yourself, like, all the praise to you, man.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to
sure.
get him on the podcast sometime,
Need-
I think.
Yeah.
But I'm probably going to have to get him in person so I can liven him up, because I've spoke to him on Skype before, and it's like nails down a chalkboard. But in person, Steele's quite a great guy. He's polite. He's nice. He's chilled out, and we're all probably very proud of him
Yes,
for
definitely.
the improvement he's made.
And Ace as well.
And Ace as
They
well,
both put
no
on
doubt. Ace is a sweetheart, nice dude. Sad to hear he got a fine on the train on the way to the show.
man.
What the fuck was that for? Like,
He used his mother's Smart Rider card,
oh,
and she's a pensioner.
oh.
So that's what they nabbed him for, $100, unfortunately.
Well,
And,
that's not fair.
security guard stood tall by him at the train station to make sure he never boarded a bus. So that was quite devastating. I decided I'd go pick him up from the train station anyway. You know,
That's just not fair. He's a teenager. Give him a break.
Like, he's trying to get to the show, and I guess to go a long
So I
way to
think-
get there.
I
and-
think-
Like, obviously his mum just gave him the car just to use so he could get there, so,
I think we need to go find the security guard. We need him on the show. We need a segment with Big Ace to sort this out, I think. And
Yeah.
loser of the match should take the fine.
Yep, and I know who I'm booking to win that.
Fuck yeah.
Alright,
Security guard.
so what was after this match? My memory's so shit. We're 4 matches in now, aren't we?
Yep, that is correct. I believe 4 matches in, so we went. That was DK Joker versus Kai Fusion. I believe.
DK Joker versus Kai Fusion. I don't know about you guys, I think they could have done better. I've
Well,
seen them...
for guys that like, are they related?
No.
They've
No,
been
they're-
a tag
they're-
team for so long.
They've been tag team for so long. They're like pretty much best mates. They wrestled beforehand, so you kind of expect chemistry. You know, you've had guys that come in as a pair. Mick and Austin 3 Dog back in ICWS came in as a pair, had a match against each other, always amazing.
Gold.
Myself and Chaos,
You and Chaos.
come in.
Every time.
Everyone seems to be pleased every time that we face off,
Yeah.
you know. So they will everyone's expectations were a little bit too high
That's
for
probably
this
what
match,
it was.
and I think that's the reason it hasn't got the praise it should have. But you know, overall, every move was hit. You know, Deacon's playing this character, this heel character, awesomely,
Yeah.
and he's able to work in, you know, a bit of sadistic activity within the match to put his character over. And Kyle's he sold it really well and really put Deacon over.
Yeah.
Especially with Deacon getting a lot more heat than he already did with this new stipulation he has for his backyard title now.
What is that stipulation?
The stipulation would be that whoever has been the backyard champion before cannot face DK Joker for the backyard title. That includes Kai Fusion.
Such a good stip.
Very smart idea. Thanks to yours truly for booking that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
nah,
Yeah, give yourself a
give
pat on the back.
Yeah, I will. But
Give yourself a
yeah,
pat on the back and a rub on the cock.
That's silence. Fuck.
yeah, but
I'm not saying it was a bad match. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
I'd
I
have to-
expected
yeah, I'd
a
have to
5-star
agree.
classic.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Like, yeah, chemistry wise, we would have expected them to have chemistry, and but all the moves were very crisply. That's what.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Well, I'm
Yeah.
sure there'll be some rematches down the line. This
Yeah,
certainly
they have-
is not over
There's
yet.
always areas to improve.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's it happens with everyone, you know. You have a bad moment every now and then, and you might feel a little shit afterwards, but then you go out there and do it again within the storyline, and you put on that 5-star classic. I can vouch for that. Myself and Chaos had the event before I fractured my ankle. Myself and Chaos had a match that neither of us were pleased with, and like it was dreadful. We just went on point, but you know, we come out in the match. I fractured my ankle. You know, everyone was fucking just over the moon with that match because it was an Ice and Chaos classic. So,
Yeah.
you know, I am now expecting that 5-star match at the next show.
Well, we'll see what happens. I haven't announced anything yet, but
Well, I'm hoping.
there will be a match going down, but there might be an added element that people may or may not see coming, which also it does make sense as well. So okay, Let's also talk about Joker now also being tag team champion, taking over the role of Arthur Aries
Yep.
in AAA with Big Ace as tag team champion. Thoughts on the reveal?
I thought it was great. Like a lot of people, like it was announced earlier on I think it was on our website, was it?
Mhm.
That Ace was going to be choosing a new tag partner,
Yep.
and there wasn't really a lot of people you could expect for him to choose, and happened to be one of the guys he was used to feud with.
Yep.
Like these guys were enemies for so long. Boom! Now they're tag partners.
Yes.
And that there is the biggest fuck you to Kai Fusion, and I thought that was just great. You know, now Kai Fusion's in the spot where his former best friend and his former enemy have become tag champions together.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't know. In kayfabe, he wouldn't know what to fucking do. He's just his mind would be all over the place. So I think.
I mean, if you were feuding with your former best friend, wouldn't you want to enlist another one of his enemies?
I suppose.
It just looks like Kai has got to find a few allies in this battle.
He does, and well, it appears he does. 1990 Awesome, still Kemsley helping him out. So quite a lot of shit going on at once.
Yeah, and also it's cool to see that now Deacon is a triple champion.
Ooh.
He's backyard champion, GBYWN Australian Tag Team Champion, and WZWA Tag Team Champion.
Yes, well, technically it is 3 championships, although WZWA and the GBYWN Championship is still
Technically 3 championships, but he's only holding 2 titles. So.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on. From here we have a promo from Phaser making his return. Making his return to WZWA. I've been wanting to do it for a while, him coming out and giving us an update on his injury, and then keeping us all guessing on where he's gonna, where he's headed when he's coming back, who he might be coming after, who he may not be coming after. What did you guys think of this promo?
I did not expect a roast.
Yeah.
Roasting every single person he could name.
Yeah, and left out Dark Ice, the dick.
Did he?
Yeah, he didn't bag me out.
What a fucking jerk.
No, that's respect right there.
Oh, there
man.
you go.
That's hectic.
He's probably scared of you because you beat him at Christmas Carnage.
Ah, that's exactly it. And he knows as soon as my leg's better, if he had roasted me, he would have copped a fucking
He would be
big boot
shit
to the face with Dark Ice's 3-inch boot sole.
He would have been up shit creek with a turd for a paddle.
Amazing.
So good little promo from Phaser.
Beating up a fan.
Beat up a fan, yep. Which got a great pop.
That one fan who
Of all people.
I think it was a bit racist though. He did pick the only brown fan in the crowd.
Well, he didn't go after the Muslim.
No, well,
Yeah.
He called Dan Zeppelin a Muslim.
He told him to shave his beard.
He said that the one that puts himself over everyone else more than anyone, me, but I just come off a 7-match losing streak, thank you very much. I think I've done my part.
Look at your history, mate.
Yeah.
fuckwit.
But I'm looking forward to seeing where we can go with Phaser once he's able to return. I have a sneaking suspicion he may be okay for September, so
Ooh.
let's just render the whole booking meeting we had the other day,
We'll
find something.
We can always
We'll find something.
modify plans.
Yes, it's never too late to modify plans.
Never.
All right, so now we move on. Kilowatt Chaos, Rex Regan. They've had several matches in the past. We all know what they're good at, what they're worthy of. Heavyweight Championship #1 contendership match. Let's start with you, Ryan. Your thoughts on the match?
Probably my favourite match from these two. To quote JR, slobber knocker and a half. Just from the very beginning, Chaos hitting the gore at it, just breaking her even half. You could tell it was going to be a physical match.
Rex has become that guy where it doesn't matter who you put him against, you know it's going to be a good match.
Yeah.
That's something you should be very proud of.
Yeah, he should be very proud of. What was I going to say? What's my train of thought?
Can you not eat with your mouth full, you fucking starburst prick?
Sorry, I'm hungry. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So you could tell, story-wise, you could tell, they were fighting for it. Who wanted it more? Who wanted to be in contention for the heavyweight title. You can see the history of these two. Like now, they were enemies. Now that
They got respect for each other.
respect for each other, and they showed that at the start of the match, and just went out and just had a physical, brutal match. The freaking the headbutt off the apron. It was like he jarred his neck, as I said earlier.
Chris, stop doing that move. You're gonna fucking kill yourself, dude.
Your neck's gonna end up like your finger did.
Let's hope not.
The freaking the Chaos Fury, like mid-air Chaos Fury.
Yeah.
The end with the reversal after reversal, just everything like was good in this match.
Yeah, solid match.
Solid.
Good to have for the pre-main event. Ice, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that my favourite part of this match would have to be watching these two go out there and have a singles contest with rules, because both Rex Regum and Killer Chaos have made their names synonymous with hardcore wrestling. So to see them not have to use weapons to get a big pop, go out there and really solidify themselves as actual wrestlers.
Yeah.
Was
it's good. They have to have a
the
change.
best thing ever. Yeah.
They got to evolve.
And you know they proved to everyone that they can do either style of wrestling. So to have these two put that match on for the #1 contendership to the heavyweight title was absolutely perfect, because they both showed that they can. That both of them are pretty much contenders for that championship.
And they don't need to have hardcore matches in order to have
He
good
really
matches.
adapt to whatever situation they get given.
Yeah, and full credit to Chaos. He's been known as just the go-to guy if you want a hardcore match. But so far this year, we've had, what, one hardcore match?
Involving Chaos?
No,
No,
just in general.
that was Fusion versus Antilochus.
Oh, really?
I don't even know if there's been an... Oh, well, Jack and Fusion was a bit of a hardcore match.
The Warn
but-
Bro tag match, street fight.
Yeah, oh, well, I keep forgetting about Resolution, but I just feel like that's in a completely other world, that show. But yeah, we've been quite relaxed on the hardcore stuff so far this year, so I've been very happy with
And the wrestling's getting over as well.
Yeah.
Everyone's proving that you don't need hardcore matches every bloody show to go out and have a fat time and enjoy yourself.
We overdid it for a while there, for a few years.
Yeah.
Just overboard. And with saying that, we got Hardcore Hell coming up, so
Yeah. So
everyone will be able to get their fix.
And what a perfect build-up too, you know,
Yeah.
having very little hardcore activity and then saving it for
Then boom,
Hardcore Hell. It's like,
all out.
comparing to WWE, where they have their regular shows here, there, and everywhere, and then they go out at Extreme Rules to put on the more violent in quotation marks matches, which, you know, I think that's how it should be.
Yeah, me too, and looking forward to Hardcore Hell. I mean, I'm changing the format a little bit. Not every match will be a hardcore match, but there will be several hardcore matches on the show.
Yeah.
I don't want to overdo it, so then, you know, when we get to the semi-main event, we've already seen, you know, every man and his dog get put through a table. No, that's not a shot at Hank. But
Why not? Maybe we should book Hank through a table.
I think we should book Hank versus Ranger 1-on-1.
No,
Oh, man.
no. I think Ranger. The odds would be in Ranger's favour.
I think so too.
I'll go down there. I'll put a $1 bet on Ranger, and I'll get 90 cents back. That's how fucking good the odds will be in Ranger's favour.
That's how big the odds will be.
You
All right.
lose money if you bet and win.
All right.
Why?
Okay, so let's move forward. Now we get to the main event. The one we've been waiting for. Antilochus' rematch from, was it False Finish?
That'd be correct.
Or was it
yeah.
hard? Yeah, no, it was False Finish, yeah. Gets his rematch
Remember, he's
finally
getting as
after
good as mine.
getting pinned with his foot under the rope.
Yeah.
So the rematch happens, and great match, great title match. Icy Boy, thoughts on
me.
the match?
Another one of those elements. You got Mykonos, who's renowned as one of the better wrestlers in our federation, and you got Antilochus coming out of the hardcore element of the wrestling and put them two in the ring for this rematch in a singles contest. And again, it was definitely main event caliber match. I know Mykonos wasn't completely happy with his efforts, but Mykonos drowned those thoughts, man, because I was really, really impressed with the match. You didn't look sloppy. Jacob never looked sloppy. And watching back the recap of the camera angles and stuff, you've hit your Samoa Joe kick perfectly on the button, and every move was crisp. You should be proud of the match. And there's almost everyone pretty much in the podcast previously has mentioned that they would like Antilochus in their top 5 to become the next WZWA champion. And it finally happened, and everyone was just absolutely stoked. And
Yeah.
I went up to Antilochus after the match. I said, "Bro, you've deserved it, dude." I was like, I mentioned that point on the podcast that everyone had him in the top 5, and
Yeah.
he was almost tearing up. He was just so happy, and that's what you want to see. You give a guy a title, and he really appreciates it.
You could see in his face as soon as that pinfall was counted, you could see in his face, I fucking finally did it.
Yeah, and I didn't expect it so soon, but the fact that it did, it makes me happy.
Yeah, me too. That's what I love about these WZWA originals. When we all joined the roster, it was kind of like they had to take a back seat because there was other people's turn for that spotlight that didn't get that in the ICWS.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about the likes of a Brian Lowe, who'd been doing it for some time before.
Yep.
Dark Ice, been doing it for some time. Dan Zeppelin deserved a bit of time in the spotlight. Alex Stone deserved his run as champion. Mykonos deserved to get that main event slot for half the year.
Yeah.
So with all that happening, finally now it was their turn, because they they've all been on a great journey. Regan, Antilochus, Monet, Jack Wallace. They've all been on a huge journey since 2012, and finally another original has now become heavyweight champion. And I think that means a lot to Jacob, and it means a lot to me to see him be so proud of that moment. So with all that being said, Ryan, your thoughts on Antilochus becoming champion, your thoughts on the match as well.
Well, seeing as I was the referee for this match,
Best seat in the house.
best seat in the
Yeah,
house.
buddy.
It was, even though I had a job to do, I was really like invested in everything they were doing. And obviously being Booker, I already knew he was going to win, but I was just like, all this stuff's going on, and they're hitting moves left, right, and center. Like, it was real improvement from the last match. I wasn't there for it, but I did watch it back before this show. I was like, oh man, like it would be cool to see how they actually try to top it, and they did it so well. The thing that annoys me is that bitch saying, "Oh, I don't think you did that well." Man, look back on the recap and look at the match. Everyone was happy. You should be happy yourself, just like I said. I don't know what he was doing with the whole going for the people's elbow.
I would have left that out.
Yeah, it just gets package pile driven. So
That's what you get if you
that's
try
what
that
you
What a
shit.
swerve.
You try that shit in the war zone, you get a package pile driver.
Yeah, lots of awesome stuff. And like pretty much it's already been said. Like Jacob deserves what he got, winning the title. He got all the praise from it. Mitch got the praise for putting him over really well, and now it's going to be awesome to see how Jacob does in that main event slot. And now with this apparent alliance he has with Luke Molle.
Yes. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these two guys go together. Antilochus was in the Rebellion. Monet was in the franchise for so long, so established in those teams. So it'll be interesting to see how they establish themselves as a team, and forget about the whole Rebellion and franchise thing for now. Keep that in the past and move forward and evolve as a team. I believe it'll be more of a loose alliance than naming themselves as a team. It's just going to be Luke, Monet, and Antilochus looking out for each other and looking out for what's best for both of them.
Yeah.
So, anyway, overall thoughts on the show. I felt it was the best show we've had since Resolution 3.
Yep, I 100% agree.
It was a fun
Everyone
show.
did a great job.
We all had a good laugh. I mean, I know I was so happy with what happened that day. I was so hyperactive that I couldn't shut up. And to see the return of Stacey after 5 years.
I was even happy that she stayed for the entire show and watched all.
Yeah.
That was cool.
To see Phaser, make his first appearance in 6 months.
Yes.
See Clint Marshall make his first appearance in 6 months. Some great surprises and twists and turns with all the stories going on, whether it be the 1990 Awesome story with Ace and now Deacon involved, but then Steele got involved and Kyle's still involved with Deacon, and so that's a whole lot of shit going on there with those guys. And then you've got, Big Red and Blade Shaw's very gripping storyline between the two of them. Antilochus and Monet, obviously the JD Flame thing with Luke Monet. There's just so much going on, and I can't wait for Hardcore Hell because that's just the tip of the iceberg. Things with the Heartbreakers will be kicking off. Dan Zeppelin will be making his return.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of things going down. We've got Rex Regan challenging Antilochus in the main event, Stairway to Hell 4 for the heavyweight championship. And another interesting factor is the World Hardcore title doesn't appear to be on the show.
You're going to have the
be
World
defended on the show.
The World
It has
Hardcore
to be,
title,
doesn't
not
it? So we'll have to
defended
see
on
what
Hardcore
happens
Hell.
there. We'll have to see what goes down at Hardcore Hell. Probably be in September sometime. But hey, what a great journey for WZWA right now.
Yeah, I get to sit back now and enjoy the shows purely as a fan, with the exception, obviously, of people wanting to come and ask for advice. But, sitting back as a fan and watching the last couple of shows unfold, I'm actually emotionally invested. And that's not just saying that because you guys are in front of me. I'm really invested in everything that's going on, and that's going to keep me coming back at all times, and that's a credit to everyone on the show. And another thing, Superfan keeps coming back to shows, and that says something because Superfan, as much shit as he gets from people and whatever people's opinions on him, Superfan wouldn't go to a wrestling show if it was shit.
Yeah.
He wouldn't keep coming back time after time.
And that's why he doesn't go to AAW.
That's exactly right,
Well,
All
yes,
action wanking.
that is a good point, Ice. As people, people that might find Superfan a bit annoying or whatever here, here and there. But to be honest, him being at the shows that we are putting on a good product that the most dedicated wrestling fan in Perth enjoys.
Yeah.
So, well, that comes to an end for today's almost 45 minute podcast, reviewing this Saturday's event, WZWA Frostbite 2015. Always a big event every year. So thank you, Ice.
No worries.
Thank you, Big Red.
No problem.
And thank you for listening to the GBYWN Australia podcast. I'm Aston Crude, your host. Once again, episode 21 in the bag, baby. And hope you all checked out my timeline history of 2010 with Daniel Johnston on the ICWS. It's definitely one of my better projects that I've been doing. So I hope you check that out. I hope you checked this out and enjoyed it. And you'll be hearing from me very soon. This coming week, I'll hopefully get a couple more interviews done for all of you out there. So thank you for listening to the GBYWN Australia podcast. I'll speak to you all next time.